10 o'clock in Denmark now. Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon for some of you other. Welcome to this first presentation, first webinar of 5. I will go through the explanation how green oil product is developed, how it's performed, and what we actually do. But what we do in words and pictures, we clean oils. We clean oils from especially particles, but also we have a very efficient water separator, actually the most efficient on the market. If you take the picture to the left, you see heavily contaminated oil, which is in really poor conditions. It's going through the green oil system and is being cleaned, as you can see in the right picture. The same picture, but only with few hours, actually 12 hours later on, then the oil has been cleaned. We have combined particle filtration and a very efficient water separator. Particle filtration is done by using sheep's wool, which you can see here. It's sheep's wool which is compressed to a certain layer where millions of labyrinths are created inside the sheep wool. The filter elements is here stacked up into the filter canister where millions of labyrinths are created, and we are creating a deep filter element, improving the oil quality. We have decided, in order to gain the maximum lifetime out of the filter element, in the topper part, it's the sheep wool is less dense. That means it's not that hard compressed. So we, in that case, extend the lifetime of the filter elements. In the second step is where we are going down to the deep filtration and improving the oil quality and take out the very small particles from the oils. So a two-step filter element in one piece, a deep filter element, improving the oil quality. Green Oil have developed a water separator which remains as the most efficient on the market. It's totally maintenance free and only require a small energy consumption. It's working as oil is guided through the cone, where you can see the picture which is scaled up. A thin layer of oil is running down the cone, and in the water separator we have placed a small heating element, a heating coil. The heating coil is only at 100 watts and heating up the air inside the chamber. When we heat up the air inside the chamber to 100 and 120 degrees, if water is presented in the oil, the water will evaporate. When water evaporates, the mass is being bigger, and then an overpressure is created inside the water separator chamber. Through the blue pipe, you can see that the evaporated water are being pushed out of the system because of the overpressure. That means we have a totally maintenance-free water separator. The orange color, the clean oil, returning back to the main system again. So a very simple and reliable solution, improving your oil quality for both particles, but also a very unique and patented and the most efficient water separator on the market. Applications. We can fit these systems on any propulsion systems like stern tubes, thrusters, azimuth and azipole, pitch propeller systems, CPP, with the use of also EL bio-oils, which is very challenged to remove water from. We are able to remove the water from the EL bio-oils and remain the oil to be dry. Any hydraulic equipment like steering gear, cranes, winches, hatch covers, hydraulic driven pumps on tanker vessels like Framo or on fishing vessels like the fishing pump. hydraulic ramps for ferries, gearboxes, reduction gears, lubrication oil on engines for both two-stroke main engines and four-stroke main engine and auxiliary engines. We have a solution for diesel oil and marine gas oil as well, also instead of the traditional centrifugal separator. The solution is very, very simple. We are calling the solution back to basic. We replace the existing separator with an efficient filtration system, like the green oil system. We have the top of picture installation on a bigger main engine of two-stroke, where we have fully replaced the centrifugal separator. The picture below is on a bigger auxiliary engines, where we also have replaced the centrifugal separator. The advantage is many, but most important is that we are having approval from engine manufacturers. Here, just as a reference, for MAN, we have for both two-stroke engines and four-stroke engines, which is approved to be used on the engines. We have, of course, also acceptance from Wärtsilä, Yanmar, Bergen, MAK, and so on, which we also have supplied for many new buildings already. The advantage replacing the centrifugal separator with a green oil filtration system is that there is a lot of saved cost, which give us a very short return on investment, typically between 6 to 12 months. Then the system has been paid back, and then you gain savings after that. Better oil efficiency and performance, much less maintenance for the crew on board, so they can concentrate on other things. On top of that, cause of the less energy consumption, we are having safe CO2 reduction on top of that, also improving your green environmental footprint. The economical benefits is that the less energy consumption result in less oil use on board, fuel oil, of course, but also lubrication oil is saved. Also, because our system don't produce any sludge, no waste products at all. This means several tons of new oil is saved, as you don't have to top up with new oil for the engines. Much less maintenance cost involved, also less time consuming for the crew. In many cases, extended oil lifetime. All give us a very short return on investment. How does it perform against the separator? In many cases where we are talking retrofits, we can compare the old oil sample with the new oil samples, where less wear elements is measured overall, less soot and insolubles. A typical forgotten issue in many oil systems is varnish. The varnish potential rating is a matter of stressed oil, oxidation, heating, maybe water inside, creating varnish. The green oil system removes the varnish over time, cleaning up the engine from inside. With the use of green oil, there is less stress on the oil without the preheating. As we know from the centrifugal separators, the oil is needed to be heated up to 95 degrees. At that temperature, the oil will start the oxidation process, building up varnish and so on. With the green oil system, it doesn't need additional preheating. The perfect temperature for the green oil system is about 60 degrees, and this temperature is the oil temperature of the engine in operation. So it's perfect. This also means that the total base number we can see is kept higher for a longer time, meaning improving and extension of the oil lifetime. Last but not least, the worst thing we want to have in our engines is water. What is used in the centrifugal separators today is water to have a proper density between the particles, water and oil. This creates a high risk of water contamination to happen inside the separator and will end up into the engine. With the green oil system, no water is used. This also means we then totally avoid the risk of water contamination to happen. And most of you have maybe seen oil samples where indications of water inside the engines. This is in 95% of the times created by water contamination from the separator. So another big advantage for the green oil system to be used on the engines. Service and maintenance. The system is manufactured in Denmark with strong and reliable components. As mentioned, the water separator is totally maintenance free, meaning only the filter elements should be changed. My colleague Carsten here will show you how easy it is to replace the filter elements. You can compare this to overhaul and clean the centrifugal separator. The green oil system is much more and much easier to operate and maintain. It's done without any use of tools. He's using his knife right now to open the box, but that's the only thing. There's no oil spill for replacing the filter element, and it's also done without any oil contact. And especially without any oil contact, it's improving the working conditions on board the vessel. As you can see, it's a filter canister. It's an 8-liter canister. So in wet conditions, full with combustion residues and so on, the maximum weight is 12 kilos. This means also that in many places, crew members and operation people are only allowed to carry 15 kilos themselves. So this means with the green oil system, there's no need for additional cranes, no any additional lifting tools, etc. The filter element is back in the system again. He's putting on the clamp right now, starting up the system, and the job is done. And you can see a very clean job to replace the filter element. This is the only thing which has to be done in the future for cleaning your engines. So, does it actually work? We get a lot of good feedback from our customers around the world. Here, indication from last year where a Norwegian customer was looking into buying a green oil system for a thruster. They had water ingress in one of the thrusters, so they were looking into a filtration system which was able to remove the water. From the left picture, you can see that water is emulsified with water. Sorry, with the oil. Water and oil is emulsified. And 12 days after, the oil is clean. So as the chief engineer stated in the below, huge difference in oil quality, filter system seems to function. One of our customers, a big fishing vessel, they installed the green oil systems from the very beginning of the vessel. This means that this vessel is equipped without any use of centrifugal separators. Only green oil is installed for the lubrication oil on the main engine and the 2 auxiliary engines, also as well for the diesel application. And as the chief engineer states, it's very well functioning green oil filter system for diesel and lubrication oil. After 1.5 years of operation, I am very pleased, easy to operate and maintain. Just what I have just explained. Has very good oil result on oil samples we have taken, on lube oil and diesel oil. So a satisfied customer also where we have installed the systems from the new building. An important statement from one of our customers also: we have already done our homework over the past year with various filtration systems, and we have selected that green oil units will be our equipment of choice for the lubrication oil and diesel to going forward. So a big statement that they have tried several filter systems over the past years and found the green oil system as the most efficient one, and the easiest filter system to operate, but also price-wise a very competitive product. When I stated this regarding the water in the engines, which is 95% of the times coming from water contamination in the separator, this was actually what was happening here. They had water in the engine and was trying to get rid of the separators, and I promoted our product to them and they were quite interested, so they bought the systems for the two main engines for this vessel, two 2500 kilowatts Daihatsu main engines. But already after 1 month they could see a huge difference in the water content. As you can see, the water content here is down to 0.01%. But also what this chief engineer states, it was observed that the oil consumption of both main engines were decreased because no more lube oil purifier that sometimes it's operating got malfunction and discharged some of the oil. The green oil filtration system is much more convenient and less maintenance compared with the lube oil purifier. So a big statement from a chief engineer on board, having his hands on. Some other of our customers in Denmark, more than 1200 system has been supplied to Maersk Line alone for many different applications. The latest 6 new buildings series has been equipped with green oil systems across the fleet. Lubrication oil on auxiliary engines, but also for TORM, where we have just made a test on the main engine with very positive result, which gave us this no objection letter. DFDS, a strong customer of us, also have bought green oil also for the latest new buildings ongoing in China. This was in short what we do. Some references. We can go much deeper into any applications if any interest from one of you. If you have any questions, then feel free to unmute or write in the chat function a question. Then I will try to answer. You can also, if you want, find me on our website and write me an email if you want to learn more or you want to have this presentation to present for some of your colleagues.